Ever notice how some people can fold into pretzels but still deal with pain, stiffness, or recurring injuries? Or how you might stretch really well, or maybe even hyperextend, but the moment you try to use that range while standing, lifting, running, or changing directions, everything feels tight, shaky, or unsafe? Here's the part most people don't hear. A lot of injuries don't happen because people are too tight. They happen because people have range they can't control, especially under load. That's why stretching alone often isn't enough. And in some cases, it's why stretching more actually makes things worse. If you saw my recent short on flexibility, mobility, and stability, this video is the deeper context because movement doesn't happen in isolation, and understanding that is what keeps you pain-free long-term. Before we go any further, we need to define one phrase clearly: controlled range. Controlled range is the amount of motion you can move into on your own, maintain without panic or bracing, and move out of smoothly while breathing normally and staying organized. In other words, it's not just where you can go, it's whether your nervous system trusts you there. This is where most confusion comes from. People are told, you feel tight? Stretch. You feel stiff? Stretch. You feel pain? Stretch. But then this happens. They stretch consistently, they're flexible, and yet they feel unstable, weak, or stuck with the same pain, or they just haven't improved. This is especially common in people who are naturally bendy. Ever wonder why you can flip all over the place, lock out joints, or fall into extreme positions, but something basic like touching your toes slowly, controlling a squat, or standing on one leg feels impossible? That's not a contradiction. That's your nervous system. Stretching improves passive range of motion, meaning how far your body can be placed into a position when nothing else is demanding control. But real life doesn't happen lying on the floor. It happens in loaded positions. A loaded position is any position where your body has to support weight, create force, absorb force, or manage momentum. Things like standing, walking, squatting, lunging, lifting, running, jumping, all of these are loaded. Stretching doesn't prepare you for that. Your nervous system doesn't care how flexible you are on the floor. It cares whether you can manage force and uncertainty. If it doesn't feel confident, it tightens things up. Not because you're broken, but because it's protecting you. Stretching opens the door. Load is what tests whether you are actually allowed to use the space. Flexibility, muscle length, and tone. Flexibility is passive range of motion. It's about how far a muscle can lengthen when an external force is doing the work. Gravity, momentum, or another person. This is largely influenced by muscle tone. Muscle tone is the baseline level of tension your nervous system keeps in a muscle at rest. High tone means muscles feel tight. Low tone means muscles feel loose. Stretching temporarily lowers tone. That's why stretching feels good. Examples of flexibility would be pulling your knee to your chest while lying on your back, or relaxing into a hamstring stretch, or someone pushing you deeper into a stretch while you relax and breathe there. None of these require your muscles to do anything but relax. So try this. Stretch your hamstrings lying on the floor and completely relax. Now stand and slowly hinge forward. If the range disappears or feels shaky, the muscle wasn't the problem, the control was. Mobility is active range of motion. It's your ability to move a joint through its available range using your own muscles with coordination, balance, and intent. Mobility answers the question, can I get into this position and get out of it on purpose? Strong mobility requires enough muscle strength, appropriate muscle tone, and nervous system coordination. Examples would be you can sink into a deep squat using gravity, but standing back up feels clunky or unstable. Or you can stretch your hip flexors, but lifting your legs slowly causes cramping or pinching or compensations. The range exists, your nervous system just doesn't trust you to control it yet. So try this. Take a stretch you already have. Now move into that range slowly without momentum, pause briefly, and come back out. That gap between passive and active range is your mobility limitation. And now hypermobility is why more range doesn't help. If you're hypermobile, your joints naturally have more available range, but more range doesn't mean more usable range. In fact, your nervous system is often more cautious because stability is less predictable, so it compensates by increasing muscle tone in certain areas, restricting motion under load, or limiting access to range altogether. That's why someone can hyperextend their elbows, but feel incredibly tight in their hamstrings. It's not because the hamstrings are short, it's because the system doesn't feel stable enough as a whole. It has to protect somewhere else. Which brings us to stability. This is the nervous system and load. Stability is your ability to maintain force and uncertainty, not stiffness, not locking joints. It's your nervous system's confidence that I can handle that. Stability is tested when load increases, speed increases, balance is challenged, or the environment becomes unpredictable. A key concept here is end range control. End range is the edge of your available movement, the deepest squat, the furthest reach, the longest stride. If you can reach that position, but can't hold it calmly, can't breathe, can't move out smoothly, or lose alignment under load, then you don't have end range control. So try this. Stand on one leg. Now close your eyes. If your body stiffens, wobbles, or panics, that's not weakness. That's your nervous system saying it doesn't feel safe yet. So here's the full picture. Flexibility gives you access to range. Mobility lets you move through that range. Stability lets you own that range under load. Remember, load means many things. Flexibility without mobility is uncontrolled range. Mobility without stability is borrowed control. And stability without flexibility is restriction. The goal isn't more movement. The goal is trusted movement. So let's bring it all together. Real lasting mobility and stability come from earned range. Earned range means you move into positions intentionally, without momentum, without holding your breath, without compensating somewhere else. You don't fall into positions. You don't get pushed there. You work into them. Here's how to start earning your range. After stretching, lightly contract the muscle in that lengthened position. This tells your nervous system the range isn't just available, it's usable. Second, slow your reps. Slower movement exposes missing control. Momentum hides that. And third, pause under load. Brief pauses in squats, lunges, and hinges teach the nervous system that you can manage force in those positions. Fourth, breathe through effort. If you're holding your breath, your nervous system doesn't feel safe. Calm breathing builds trust. Fifth, respect disappearing range. If range vanishes when load is added, that's information, not failure. That's where the work belongs. This is when true movement improves. This is when the nervous system starts to trust you. Stretching isn't bad. It's just incomplete. If you've been stretching for years and still dealing with pain, instability, or frustration, this is likely the missing piece. Movement isn't about forcing range. It's about earning control, especially where life actually demands it. So comment below, where do you feel most limited? Your flexibility, your mobility, or stability? Most likely a combination of all of them. I've linked a full video that goes deeper into mobility training and how to build it safely. And next time something feels tight or painful, don't just stretch it. Ask whether your body knows how to control that range under load. I'll see you in the next one.